We are going to reconvene the open part of the session. We did hold a closed session meeting, and there was no action items that resulted from the closed session meeting. We are going to next go to roll call.
Dr. Fellow, Mr. Osterling,
Here.
Mr. Hilsman,
Here.
Ms. Brown,
Here.
Ms. Chen Lao,
Here.
Mr. Martin,
Here.
Ms. Wah, Ms. Rod.
Okay. Next, we have the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to jump the gun here. I think we have a new student trustee that's going to be sworn in later today. And Alex, can you lead us in the pledge? Thank you.
Right. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Alex. Okay, our next order of business is to convene our annual organization meeting, and there's a number of things that we have to do, and once we've completed that, we'll adjourn the annual organization meeting and then convene our regular business meeting. So we are now on item C4, which is the election of board officers, and we're going to start with the board president and then proceed to the vice president and then the board clerk. And starting with the president position, are there any nominations?
Yes, I would like to nominate Jim Osterling from the great city of Altadena.
Yes, Pasadena, that's right. Jim from Pasadena.
For the position of president.
Thank you, Hoyt. Are there any other nominations for the for the position of president? Hearing none, nominations are closed, and all in favor of Osterling for president for this next year?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And moving on to vice president, are there any nominations for vice president? Trustee Wah.
I would like to nominate Trustee Hilsman for the position of Vice President.
Me?
Thank you,
You.
Trustee Wah. Any other nominations? Nominations are closed, and call for a vote. Hoyt Hilsman for Vice President for our next year. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. And finally, we have the position of clerk/secretary of the board. Do we have any nominations? Trustee Wah.
I would like to nominate Trustee Brown for the position of secretary.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for the position of clerk?
Thank you.
Oh, clerk, I'm sorry.
Okay, correction, clerk, thank you. Any other nominations? Nominations are closed, and it's time to vote. All in favor of Trustee Brown for clerk for this upcoming year, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. And our next order of business is now we get to administrate the oath of office to our incoming student trustee.
Secretary. He's the secretary.
Oh, pardon me. Well, I'm told that I have to also elect a secretary, and it's right here on the notes in front of me. Do we have any nominations for secretary? Linda.
I would like to
Trustee
nominate
Wah.
the superintendent.
Okay. Any other nominations for secretary? Hearing none, nominations are closed, and we will have a vote. All in favor of Dr. Androgenis for secretary for this upcoming board year?
Let me see.
Please indicate by signifying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries unanimously. Pardon my gaffe there. And actually, I heard that there was a rumor going around campus that they were going to have a handicap the number of gaffes that our new incoming president was going to make during this meeting. And I heard the number was 10. I'm approaching that rapidly already. My advice to anybody that is a wagering sort is I would take the over on that. Continuing on, we're going to administrate the oath of office for our new student trustee, and we'll do that over at the lectern over there. You want to come with me?
I will come with you. Yes.
Okay. This is the oath of office. Do we raise our right hand?
I think so.
Okay,
Yes.
please raise your right hand, Alex. Okay, this is for the office of student trustee for the governing board of the Pasadena Area Community College District. And Alex, if you could repeat after me. I, Alex Sarkissian, do solemnly swear
I, Alex Sarkissian, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the United States and to the Constitution of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
discharge the duties of which I am about to enter.
Congratulations to our new student trustee.
Congratulations. Hey, I think you get to come up here.
And you can join us up at the front. Yeah.
I know. I get an upgrade. Yeah.
And we'll have you sign. I'll sign it.
President Osterling?
Yes,
I would
Trustee
just
Waugh.
like to just personally welcome Trustee Sarkisian, but also I know former Trustee Rad is in the audience, and I just want to thank her again for her service, and I know she wanted to come here to support her successor, so.
Yay.
Yeah, thank you on behalf of all of the board for really a tremendous year. Alex, you're stepping into big footsteps. But I see item 6 here. I thought that would be part of our regular meeting, but we can do that now.
I
As-
think
as
you
a-
can do it now.
okay.
I don't think it matters.
Okay, we're going to go on to agenda item number 6, which is appointments to the Facilities Master Plan Subcommittee. The president appoints other trustees to subcommittees and to serve as liaison to various groups. And I will be doing that at the next meeting, at the August meeting. However, the Facilities Master Plan Subcommittee is a new subcommittee, does not yet have any members, and I wanted to make the appointments to this committee only at this meeting because this is a very time-sensitive issue and we need to remain on schedule, and then Dr. Androgianis can put that subcommittee to work. So after consulting with my fellow trustees, the members of the Facilities Master Plan Subcommittee for this upcoming year will be Trustee John Martin, Trustee Berlinda Brown, and myself, Trustee Jim Osterling. Item number 7 is a certification of signatures. And is that the folder in front of me right here?
Brown has the certification at the moment.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're all going to sign this, but I'm not sure what official motions or actions that I need to take. here.
Nothing, just
Okay.
that it happened.
Okay, so it's
noted.
noted into the meeting minutes that the certification of the signatures has taken place. And then we're going to move on to item number 8. We're going to adjourn the annual organizational meeting, and we're going to convene our regular business meeting. So I get to use the gavel again. We are going to convene our regular business meeting number 1 for the Pasadena Area Community College District. And we are going to start off with, is there any approval or reordering of agenda items from anybody? Okay. Let me make note that agenda item H6, which was a resolution regarding pending AB 1504, Assembly Bill 1504. We've pulled that from the agenda, and we're going to take that under consideration at the next meeting. So all the rest of those resolutions we will address at this meeting, and H6 we will remove from the agenda. Next is item number 11, which is introductions and recognitions. Do we have any introductions and recognitions?
Dr. Junie, would you like to do the honors?
So actually, I'd like to introduce and recognize 2 people, and they're somewhat related. And so first of all, although you have not yet approved the personnel items, but in the personnel items is Lenora Rogax as the new Dean of Visual Arts and Media Studies, and she's in the audience. And you may know that her previous job, and actually still her job through the end of this meeting, assuming that you approve her, was in part the Academic Senate President. And she will be replaced as of tomorrow, if you approve that personnel item, by Matt Hennis, who is already in his chair. Thank you.
Yay,
thank you.
welcome.
Welcome. Okay, we now move on to item number 12, which is public comment on non-agenda items. Do we have any public comment on non-agenda items?
No, we do not.
Okay, thank you. Item number 13, approval of minutes of the regular business, of our previous regular business meeting number 17, which was held last month on June 19th.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and seconded, all in favor. Student trustee
Aye.
and trustees, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
I note that I abstain since I wasn't present at the meeting.
Okay, so we have motion carries with 1 abstention. Next, we're going to move on to section D, which is consent items for students. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Student trustee
Aye.
and trustees, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. We are going to move on to agenda item E, which is consent items for instruction. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Student trustee,
Aye.
trustees, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. And we now move on to item F, consent item business. Do I hear a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Okay. Now, trustee Y, see your light on?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not pulling F6, but I do want to just make a comment on F6, but I would move to approve.
Okay. So you would like to move to approve all consent items, and then after we do that, you'd like to make a comment?
Yes.
Okay. So have we had a motion and a second?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor, student trustee,
Aye.
trustees, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, we'll move to Trustee Wah, and you have the floor.
Yeah, so I did ask a question under F6, and it's not exactly directly addressing this, but it was just a question. As we develop our technology master plan, one of the questions that I had that came up recently was looking at, so I had the opportunity to look at a CIS pathway curriculum that was being developed in our CIS program, and it was at the invitation of Dr. Kiotis. And one of the comments that was made by some of the professors was the lack of equipment for the students. And for being someone who comes from a technology background, I would have to say that it really kind of shocked me a little bit that we would have a major where students may not have as full of access to equipment to really make them successful. So I just wanted to comment that I hope as we develop the technology master plan that we look at how we could make equipment available. I don't know that we could do a leasing program. I understand that there are pros and cons of it, but certainly I think if we go to like USC or UCLA, their students have that equipment. Having grown up in the dark ages of technology before personal computing, we all did mainframe computing, so nobody had mainframes at home, but we had 24-hour centers that we were able to go to program. So I just wanted to throw that out as a thought as we develop our master plans.
Okay. Yeah.
So noted.
Yeah, so noted. Thank you. Okay, we are now going to move on to item G, consent items, personnel. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. Student trustee?
Aye.
Trustee?
Personnel, they don't vote on personnel.
Pardon me, excuse me, thank you. By the way, the overs have already won.
That was the square I chose, so I think I won this one.
How much did you win on that, Dr. Angel?
That's correct. This is a personnel item, so the student trustee does not vote. Trustees, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, approved unanimously. And we will move on to Section H, which is action items recommended for approval. And our first item is item number 1. This is declaration of candidacy of James A. Osterling for ACCT, Association of Community College Trustees, Nominations Committee. And I think since Trustee Wah, you're the one that put me up to this, you can explain what's going on here.
Well, I am very happy that Trustee Osterling chose to run for this position. There's been a lot of discussion at the state level. For many years, California was not heavily involved with the ACCT, which is our national trustee organization, partly because there was a lot of dissension in the rest of the country that we were the big gorilla in town and they really wanted us to stay behind the fence. But now they want us there and they like us. So we're really recruiting heavily in California. And so we have the honor of having 2 trustees who have raised their hand to step into some vacant positions. Trustee Osterling is being nominated at ACCT for the position of the nominating committee for the Pacific region. So he has to submit a number of documents which are attached. In addition, I have asked the CCCT to send a letter of endorsement for his candidacy. So I hope, I urge all of my fellow colleagues to approve this and to support Trustee Osterling in this.
One of the requirements to be a candidate is you must have the support of the board of your community college. And so that's why this is on the agenda. And any further discussion?
Yeah, this is your chance. If you don't want to do it, we can.
This is your
No, I have
She'll
it in-
just volunteer me for something else.
That's right. He is very heavily supported throughout California, so yeah, we're very lucky to have him. And this is really a chance for us because the nominating committee reviews all of the candidate submittals from our region and really helps seek out qualified candidates. So Trustee Osterling will be well positioned to help California.
Question.
Trustee Brown.
So I am very happy to see your name here as a nominated because I think you would do a great job. You have really shown us your love for community college. So I definitely will be one to make that recommendation that you be. I'll move that you get this position.
Thank you, thank you. If there's no other comments, we'll put this up for a vote, and we'll start with the student trustee.
Am I good to vote on this one?
Yes.
Yes. Aye.
Okay. Trustees, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously, and thank you.
Get it?
Okay, we are going to move on to item H2, and item H2 through item H7, and as previously mentioned, 6 has been scratched from the agenda for this month, and we'll address that next month, is a series of resolutions that we are going to take positions on pending legislation, ABs and SBs.
Trustee Osterling, not number 2.
Right.
Number 2 is a standard adoption of declaring the salaries indefinite. That's not a legislative.
Oh, okay, pardon me.
That's a
I got ahead
separate-
of myself. Thank you. Item number 2 is adoption of resolution number 611, declaring salaries indefinite for 2019-2020 fiscal year. And Dr. Androgenis, can you fill us in on this one?
I'll let my intrepid VPs over there be the ones who fill us in.
Okay, thank you.
It's my understanding that this is making sure that gives us the opportunity to change our salaries for this particular year due to things such as the minimum wage changes, step increases, and the acknowledgement of those things happening.
And retroactive.
And retroactive
increases
payments that would
wherever
happen.
necessary.
Right, due to collective bargaining.
Anything else, Dr. Bush?
That's it.
That's it? Okay.
Okay,
I move approval.
Second.
okay. Any discussion? Okay, student trustee?
You need a vote on that.
Yes, let's call for a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
Okay, trustees?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposition? Okay. Motion carries unanimously. And now we'll move to the rest of these are the resolutions on the statewide legislation. So we're going to start with item number 3, adoption of resolution number 612 in support of AB2, California College Promise.
Move to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that the legislative committee met this week, and we reviewed a number of these proposals along with the superintendent president and our representative in Sacramento who'd been following this legislation, and these are all recommendations that are coming from our legislative committee.
Okay, any further discussion? So, again, this is item H3, a resolution in support of AB2, and we'll call for a vote. Student trustee?
Aye.
Okay, trustees?
Aye.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item number 4. This is adoption of resolution number 613 in support of AB 48, the school facilities bond of 2020 and 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Hoyt, any additional comments you want to add on this one?
No, unless the president has something to say about it? Okay.
No, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a quick question on that.
Yeah,
So
please, go ahead.
So the school's facilities bond of 2020 and 2022, is that one bond for 2 years, or what? Why is it 2020 and 2022?
That's a good question.
It's 2 separate bonds. So one would be in March 2020 on that ballot, and the other one would be on the November 2022 bond or ballot.
And the combined is, so we don't know how much on each of the bonds?
No, they have left it, well,
I think we know the first one and the second one is still
yes, it's
open.
13 billion on the first one, and they have not specified for the second one.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Let's put this to a vote. Student trustee
Aye.
and fellow trustees, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We're moving on to item H5. This is the adoption of resolution number 614 in support of AB 1314, and this is the Cal Grant Reform Act.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, call for a vote. Student trustee.
Aye.
Trustees, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. H6 has been removed from the agenda, and so we'll go on to H7. This is the adoption of resolution number 616. This is in support of SB 173, which is the CalFresh work-study eligibility.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I would just say that this is a very important and meaningful step towards providing students with the option to purchase food, meals am I correct here?
Well, what it is it is to simplify getting students qualified for CalFresh benefits. And essentially, because it can be a lengthy process to go through the federal process for CalFresh benefits, but if a student has been deemed eligible for work study, and that means that they've met a certain income threshold, in which case it would spill over onto that CalFresh eligibility. So rather than having them go through this process and they've been deemed eligible, and then this process and they've been deemed eligible, to combine, to basically capitalize on one single process to determine eligibility and to get those resources or benefits to students more quickly.
And as a practical matter for a student, that means that he or she
would get access to help with purchasing food. Now, what you're referring to is the CalFresh, that's AB 612, and that has to do with having every county in the state participate in the restaurant meals program,
Okay.
which would then allow us, we would have a simplified MOU with the county,
Right.
and then students could use their CalFresh benefits in our cafeteria.
Yeah, I was confused.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah. Well, they kind of accomplish a lot of the same thing, but in different ways.
right, and that we've
Yeah.
already
You've already
supported
gone for
in
that.
number 3. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? So we'll call for a vote. Student trustee.
Aye.
Trustees, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And that concludes the action items for tonight's meeting. And we're going to move on to the information items, and we will start with our superintendent president's report.
So thank you very much, President Osterling. Don't let it go to your head or anything.
He will.
The first time you get to call yourself that, it's pretty cool. So thank you, and I hope that at the end of the meeting, we can adjourn the meeting in memory of Gabriel Crispo, who was killed in a car by being struck by a car while jogging on the 4th of July. He was an 18-year veteran of our non-credit ESL division. He was originally from Argentina, and he was known for being very energetic, exuberant, and was very friendly. And I believe he came to my first office hours over at the Foothill campus. So I actually did have a chance to meet him. And it was quite a tragedy. And, I think many people from the Foothill campus went to his service on Monday, and so we were well represented, and it's been a real challenge to have that loss for our campus. In terms of our numbers, 18-19, our enrollment exceeded expectations again because we have an amazing team over there and out there. We're really fortunate. We reported 23,876 FTES for the academic year, which
Repeat that number again.
it's 23,876 FTES. There will be a test at the end of this meeting, so just so you know. And we're right on our base calculations, and that meant that we were able to push some FTS forward, which will help us next year. And our fall 2019 enrollments so far are outpacing where we were last year at this time, so that's also. And we have just some amazing work being done by our outreach and first-year experience efforts on campus. And if you haven't had a chance to visit the Welcome Center downstairs, I encourage you. I don't think it's open right now, but if you're on campus during the day, it is what a great way to welcome students onto this campus. Students go there. They walk in, and there are people there to greet them, and they have everything broken down into numbers. So the person who greets them says, okay, go stand over number 2. There are places for students to lounge around. You know, it's a really welcoming environment, and it's amazing. So congratulations to everybody who had anything to do with that. It's amazing. And then July 5th, we did have the earthquake that happened on July 5th resulted in the closure of parking structure number 4 for a period of less than 72 hours. We had a structural engineer who came and evaluated the facility, and it has been reopened for business. Now, a portion of it does remain closed because we need to do a little bit of more examination and rehabilitation. But we thanks to Richard Larrett and his staff who really did some great work that Friday and put effort actually that weekend into making sure our campus was safe, and our police department and Richard's staff who went around double checking every single building and all of our facilities. So thank you very much. And this is good because we need to really start thinking about what could happen when that big one hits. And I say when, not if, because we know it's a when. So with that, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Androgianis. We're now going to move to announcement by our shared governance representatives. And normally I would call each of you out by name, but we have a lot of new faces and some missing name tags. So I'm going to ask you guys to introduce yourself, and we're going to start with the associated students.
Or how do I, okay. Or hello, can you
There
hear
you
me? Oh, yes. So hi everyone, my name is Leon Shelton and I am the president of Associated Students for the academic year 2019-2020. There was a lot of drama with the elections this past semester, and we are actually down 6 board members, but we are currently we're in the interview process or the selection process of those 6 members. So we have applications out for the positions that are vacant, and the interviewing starts next Friday or next Thursday.
Nice.
Thank you. Classified Senate.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Maria Bustamante, and I will be the alternate again this year for the 1920. I'm happy to be here to report that today we had our first meeting for the 1920 Senate meeting, and we were able to re-elect some of the members. Unfortunately, there was a couple members that were not able to make it today, so we held off for two of the positions, which is the secretary and the board of trustees. They were not able to be there today, so therefore we could not vote them in today. However, we have the new president, which is Rochelle Allen. We have vice president Miranda Castaneda. We have the parliamentarian, which is Nicholas Balsamides, and I will be the treasurer and also the alternate board of trustees for the upcoming year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bustamante. Next, we do have a familiar face, but a difficult name to pronounce, Tito Altamirano.
Tito is good, but I like my last name as well.
Management Association.
Yes.
Take it away.
Thank you, Trustee Osling, Mr. President. So I'd like to begin by welcoming actually a few new managers by name. I think this is the meeting where we've had the most managers hired in one meeting. Lenora Rozak, obviously, was starting with our Dean of Visual and Media Studies. Sharice Davudi was our Interim Director of the Career Center. Adam Howard as our Assistant Director of Enterprise Application Services. Jacqueline Javier, Program Manager for Work-Based Learning. Ernesto Neri, the Assistant Director of Financial Aid, and lastly, Bernice Rose, our new Supervisor for Student Business Services. We're excited for all these 6 new managers, and they'll be all getting invited to our Management Association retreat, which is this Friday, so hopefully they'll be able to make it. But secondly, the Association Latino Employees also recently held elections, and 4 managers are now serving on that board. Margarita Regalado Rivera is our new Scholarship Chair, Eladio Fernandez as the Management Rep, Dr. Micaela Mares Tamayo as the Education Awareness Chair, and some gentleman by the name of Tito Altamirano as the President of ALE. Congrats to all these folks. Again, it's going to be another wonderful year. And again, the main thing is that we look forward for our retreat, our MA retreat on Friday, where we'll be working together to be better prepared to serve the college in the upcoming year. And we'll be doing so with the help of our keynote, Justin Scott Campbell, who is a specialist on diversity and inclusion. Thank you, and that is all.
Thank you, Tito. And Academic Senate.
Hi, my name is Matt Hennis, and I don't have a report because I'm currently the vice president and haven't done this job just yet, but I'll be spending the next month figuring that out in the next year. I just want to thank Lenora Rojas for her service as Senate president, prior to that Senate secretary, prior to that Senate representative. Her work with accreditation, spearheading that effort. She's leaving large shoes to fill, and I'm sure innumerable other things. Our loss is VAM's gain, and I wish you all the best as you transition into this next phase of your career. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Matt. Moving on to trustees, and we will start with the new student trustee, Alex.
All right. I don't have too much to report, but Dion said a lot of what's going on right now within Associated Students. We are 6 out of 12 board members right now. I am referring to our board as a board half full, like an optimist. And I'm very, very excited for the year to work with each and every one of you.
Thank you. And again, welcome.
Welcome.
Trustees, and we'll start at my right, everyone else's left, with Trustee Wah, and work our way this way.
Thank you. So we had the first meeting of the CCCT a couple of weeks ago, and there was the election of the CEO president, who is going to be President Joe Weiss from Shasta. As is our custom, we alternate if it's the trustee president or the CEO president, who then will lead the league board. So this is the year for the CEOs to lead. So President Weiss will be the president of the league board. So I kicked off the first meeting about 2 weeks ago. We had 4 new board members. Great diversity represented. Some of the things I think that I hope that you received the minutes from all of from our last board meeting. So I didn't realize it wasn't being sent out to all of the trustees. So this gives the highlights of what we've discussed. A lot of legislative issues, a number of things that are happening just at the trustee level. So one of the things I've asked for is for the trustees to, at the state board, to really look at which committees they want to be involved in. So we have roughly 20 committees. So there's lots of time for them to be involved. But one of the things I really want to emphasize is professional development. I think is really important. It's important to us here at the college. We say it's important to all of our community members, and it should be important to the trustees too. So I'm forming a small liaison group to work with the programming group at the league to really focus on professional development to help make our trustees stronger in our leadership. We're just wrapping up financial aid, re-architecting of financial aid, Task Force 1.0. I am happy that Dr. Androjanis has joined us to give input. We will be moving, so we will be finishing up our framework document, which will give a list of best practices recommended by the financial aid directors, but also a framework of questions and metrics for the CEOs and the trustees to look at as we focus on helping our financial aid operation become more and more student-centric and really get the money that the students need into their hands in a timely way. So looking forward to that, and I hope to get that document out to everyone within by next month. And then we'll move on to 2.0, which will look at other areas of financial aid, including Cal Grants. That's it.
Thank you, Trustee Waugh. Trustee Martin.
No report this evening.
Thank you. Trustee Brown.
No report this evening.
Trustee Hilsman.
No report this evening.
Wow.
We're on a roll. Trustee Chen Lao.
All right, you put me in a tough spot.
No, you have extra time now.
I do have extra time, but I would, I would say this. It was disheartening to learn that some of our Latino students and the Dreamers may be feeling the pressure of what's been happening in the political realm, and it was shared with us that there may be a drop in enrollment of those students. And I'd like to certainly reaffirm the email that President Androgenis sent out that PCC is a safe zone, and to ask all of us to help our fellow colleagues and students feel safe here at PCC. That is my report.
Interesting.
Thank you, Trustee Chen Lao. I don't have a report other than I want to thank all the trustees for their confidence in electing me as president for this year, despite all my gaffes, and also wanted to thank my fellow officers that served with me last year, Hoyt Hilsman as board clerk, and Dr. Tony Fellow, who served as our board president and isn't here today. He's overseas, but hopefully he'll be back next meeting and we can recognize his work then. Let's move on from announcements to proposed future board business meeting dates.
And you will see that is in the agenda. And basically, the calendar there reflects the changes that we made at the last meeting, because remember, we brought a calendar forward and there were some conflicts. So this is just a final report out of when we will meet as a board.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Androgenis. Do we have any proposed future agenda items? Okay.
And if I can just say, we do have a document in here which I actually hadn't looked very closely at until the other day, and realized that there were some items on there that dated all the way back to 2016. So I will be taking a look at this and talking with President Osterling about the items that the ongoing items, as well as items that we can take off this list, or what we might want to put on this list, so that we have an updated list. And this is a great way for us to track ongoing requests for information or ongoing plans or projects that the board has asked questions about.
Okay, thank you for doing that. Trustee Waugh.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Androgenis. So may I ask that, since most of those requests were made by Trustee Martin and myself, that if any items that you decide are not going to move forward or we're not going to discuss in the future, that at least that be discussed in some way that we can.
Right.
Yes, absolutely, will do. Okay, thank you.
Right.
Anything else on proposed future agenda items? I think we are all done for the evening, and we will adjourn the meeting tonight in recognition of Professor Gabriel Crispo, who was tragically needlessly killed in a street racing accident in which he was an innocent bystander. So that being said, we'll adjourn tonight's meeting.